Oh, there she goes. Every fall, I buy a new handbag. It is the season of buying a new handbag for me, apparently. And so I wanted to recap all the handbags I've bought over the last 5 years, the wear and tear, how it's held up, what are my thoughts now. It kind of makes sense that I tend to add the most handbags to my collection in the fall because typically this is when we travel. Previous years, I've also started new jobs in the fall, you know, like, and so there's been a lot of things that kind of make sense why every fall it feels like I buy a new handbag, except this year I haven't gotten anything yet, and of course there's still time, but I did want to recap all of the ones in the last 5 years. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with none other than the Louis Vuitton Nice Mini, which I picked up 1 year ago. This is technically not a bag, but we're gonna include it in this video. I exclusively use this for travel. I was going back and forth whether I wanted one size up, which is the Nice BB versus the Nice Mini. Ideally, they would have a size in between because I feel like the Nice is too big to fit into my carry-on as a carry-on. It took up like 1/4 of the luggage. But on the flip side, this is a little bit too small to fit like my makeup and my skincare. This is like good enough for my makeup plus my daytime skincare, but not enough for my makeup and skincare, including my nighttime routine, which granted, I don't feel like I travel with that much either. So yeah, in terms of wear and tear, in the past year, considering how much I've used it, how much I've traveled, it has held up really well. I did get an organizer for inside the bag, so it does keep the interior relatively clean. My only feedback is actually that this flap doesn't stay open, and I feel like it is annoying when you're doing your makeup, you're trying to like dig through this with like a bunch of stuff, and then it just keeps closing. Like I'm the type of person, I like to sit and do my makeup, and I like to have all my makeup like laid out so I can like pick and choose like what I need to use, you know? And so it is frustrating that this just like doesn't stay open. Other than that, I really haven't noticed that much wear and tear on this bag. Even with the vachetta trim, there really hasn't been that much damage. I did use a twilly from Amazon to tie the handle just because I know I would be nervous about it. And so I figured let's just wrap it. It does look cute, little pop of color. Overall, I do like this. I don't know that I would repurchase this. I think that it's been a fun addition, very similar to my Louis Vuitton keep. It's been a fun addition to have in the collection, but I don't know that it is essential enough for me to repurchase if I needed to. Here with our 2-year update, we have the Dior DeJoy. This is in the beaded version of it. I picked this up in Madrid 2 years ago. I've always wanted to get the Lady Dior because I think that is what, you know, YouTube, everybody on social media tells you, like that is a classic bag and that is something that you need to have added to your collection. And I tried so hard to like that bag. I really did. And it just like didn't work for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the proportions. I don't know if it's a strap too long. I don't know what it was, but I tried every size of the Lady Dior and I just could not get that bag to work for me. And then I tried on the DeJoy over the summer actually in New York, and I didn't realize I tried on this exact bag until I went back to like look at my camera roll. And I remember trying on the DeJoy specifically in the small size, and I was like, oh, actually, like I'm impressed. I do really like this. I do think this is really cute. And I ended up picking this one up specifically in Europe, in Spain, because of the beaded design. I do really like this, but I will say this bag is very heavy. That was something I kind of wasn't expecting. It does come with 2 straps, which I love. You can wear this as a shoulder bag, top handle, and it does come with an adjustable crossbody strap. But in the last 2 years since I've had this bag, I have literally never worn it as a crossbody. To be honest, I don't wear it too much as a shoulder bag either. I really just wear it like as a top handle like this. But to be honest with you, this is definitely not my most used bag in my collection. I do feel like this is geared a little bit more towards the holidays. I don't know why. I just feel like I use it more during the holidays. I definitely don't use the bag in the summer. And in terms of wear and tear, I do feel like she's held up very well. Like even the flap here, which is I believe lambskin, and there's really no major scratches on it. Corners have held up really well. It doesn't look like any beading has fallen off. Hardware has very minimal scratches, but to be honest with you, this bag has not been my most used. I probably can count how many times I've used this bag total, and it's maybe 10. It's one of those bags, again, I feel like if I had to repurchase this bag, I don't know that I would. I did notice that they no longer make this beaded version in the small size. They do make it now only in the micro. And then I think the DeJoy released a new size in between the micro and the small, which is in the mini size, which I am kind of intrigued by that. So I'm not gonna lie. I do think that the popularity of the DeJoy has kind of died down a bit, but I don't feel like it's outdated, and I don't feel like I feel this itch to get rid of it from my collection. I just don't use this bag very much. I think it's partially because I don't have an occasion for it, but yes. Another bag that I picked up on that same trip, I picked this up in Milan while we were in, you know, right before Como or right after Como, I don't remember exactly. This is one of my most used bags. You guys know, you're very familiar with me talking about this bag. I use this all the time. It's crazy that it's been 2 years since I got this bag because it doesn't feel that way. I do feel like she's held up really well. I've seen other people's Goyard bags and I feel like they didn't hold up as well for them. I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I do feel like she's held up really well. I do like that you can wear this inside out, which to be fair, I've never worn inside out. And I do have a lot of cons with this bag, mainly with the strap drop. I think the strap drop is way too short for what it is, but overall, I think it fits so much of my everyday needs. It's become one of my everyday go-to bags because it's big enough, but it's easy to get in and out of. It's lightweight, and I do really like it. In terms of wear and tear, there's really minimal wear on this bag. I'm even looking at the corners mainly. I feel like the corners is really what shows the wear the most, and I feel like it's held up really well. There's no major, you know, creasing. I haven't experienced any color transfer that people have been talking about. So I do really, really like this bag. I do enjoy using this, and I can't believe it has been 2 years. It has officially been 3 years since I've gotten my Celine Triomphe, which is now renamed to the Celine Claude. And it's crazy. It's crazy that this bag has been in my collection for so long. It's also crazy that this bag has gone through an entire like name change / identity crisis in the 3 years. I remember when I got this bag in 2022, and this was the bag to get that season. And I think at the time it was $27.50, and my friend actually was in Paris or Europe at the time. I forgot where she was, but she brought it back for me. So I think I ended up paying her about $2,000 for this bag. Would I pay $2,000 again for this bag? Absolutely. I do use this quite a bit. I don't love the opening of this bag, but I do feel like this bag feels very luxurious. Now that this bag is, I believe, over $3,000 with all the price increases and everything like that, I think that there's better bags out there. I know a lot of people are kind of worried about the Celine Triomphe logo turning into the new Gucci Marmont. I don't feel like the bag is as popular as the Gucci Marmont. Even at the peak of the Celine Triomphe, I don't feel like it's been as popular as the Gucci Marmont, which is why you don't see the fall of it as drastic. So I do still feel like this is a relatively timeless look for Celine. And I do see this staying in my collection longer than, for example, the DeJoy, but I don't know that this is a forever bag in my collection. I really love the adjustable strap and a very generous strap drop. She does stay over the shoulder. However, the opening is not my favorite. You do need 2 hands to open it. And I mentioned this before, this is a fingerprint magnets. So anytime you want to touch this bag, you are going to get fingerprints on this bag, and it is a smooth leather, so I would be really nervous about scratches, which, to be honest, looking at the bag, even after 3 years, I feel like she's had very minimal scratches. The hardware, I'm definitely seeing some hairline scratches. I'll insert a close-up so you guys can actually see what that looks like. I think I broke too hard when I was driving and the bag just like went flying. But corners, also the bag itself looks really good, all things considered. I definitely use this bag more than the DeJoy, maybe not as much as the Goyard, but I feel like in the last 3 years I've definitely used this quite a bit, and I definitely don't regret this purchase at all. Oh, there she goes. Moving over to a 4-year review, which is actually insane. My husband, well, my boyfriend at the time, my husband now, took me on a birthday trip to Hawaii in August. This is back in the day when the Hawaii pricing actually was significant. It meant something. So I picked up the Dior book tote. This was very popular at the time, and you guys know how I feel about this bag. I love the look of this bag. I hate using it. It is annoying to use. It is heavy. It's just like, it's not great. It's not a great bag to use by any means, but I love the Tote DeJoy print. Anyways, so I picked this up back in the day when Dior was connected to the duty-free mall in Hawaii. And so I ended up getting this bag for, I want to say $2,700, no tax. And that was considered the Hawaii pricing as well. So even if you went to get this at Ala Moana Mall, it would still be the Hawaii pricing, which was like $2,800, but you would have to pay the 4% sales tax. So getting it in the duty-free mall, then I didn't have to pay sales tax, and this was a deal. I think when I think about this now, I think this bag is over $3,500 now. This is a deal. However, I would not repurchase this bag. I love the look of this bag, and I wish that they did more bags in the Tote DeJoy print. Even like SLGs, like I will take anything, okay? But I just like feel like I got this bag because I like the print, not because I actually like the bag. And this is also why I don't really use the bag. I try to force myself like a couple times a year to use this bag, but in the last year or so, I think I can count how many times I've used this bag, and it's probably like 3 times. I've also noticed in terms of the wear and tear, it does collect a lot of the fuzz from sweaters. So granted, I was wearing a really fuzzy sweater the last time I wore this bag with like a Saison sweater, and it just like sheds very easily. So I think you can just take like a little lint roller and like take that off. But I also have noticed that the glue turns brown on this bag. And this has been a common issue with Dior. I've heard a lot of people talking about this on YouTube. There's plenty of YouTube videos about this. People being able to exchange their bag and whatnot and get store credits. I personally haven't done that for my bag. I figured I would kind of just wait until I was done using it, which to be honest, it might be soon. I think it might be time. I'll insert some pictures of the glue turning brown, but it's definitely not dirty because I haven't used it that much. I don't take this out. I don't take this on vacation. I don't travel with it. So it's definitely not because it's dirty. It's definitely in the areas where they have glue, and it's definitely turned brown. I also have an insert for inside of my bag as well that keeps its shape. But other than that, in terms of like wear and tear, she's held up really well. There's been no like loose thread, hasn't really gotten dirty, which is very shocking because this is a canvas bag with no, it's not like coated or anything like that. I do see one little mark right here, but other than that, I think she's held up really well. I've seen a lot of people talking about how this bag is outdated. And granted, I don't really see this bag as much anymore in person and stuff, but it's hard for me to justify getting rid of it because I do love the Tote DeJoy print. The next bag I got actually was a congratulations gift to myself when I got a new job. It was around the fall season when I started a new job and I got this bag, and this was the bag I had my heart set on since May of that year. And so I waited 6 months to get this bag, and I was very much like, I don't want to get this bag. It's very trendy. I don't know how I'm going to use it. And at the time, I was very much sticking to like neutrals and like, you know, just very classic bags. And I knew this was not going to be a classic bag. And lo and behold, 4 years later, she is still in my collection today, which is actually kind of crazy because I know this has been seen at the outlets. I know they have new versions of this bag now, and I still really love this bag. I don't use it as much as I used to. I use this bag to death, you know, a couple years ago, but I do really like having that a little bit of like extra something in my collection. I think when you look at my collection as a whole, it's very neutrals, it's very safe, and I try to keep it that way. And I have no shame about, you know, sticking with my neutrals, and I know what I like now. And so this has been that bag that's like a little bit outside of the comfort zone for me, and I absolutely love it. I did get this through a sales associate in Harrods who was able to ship the bag. This was like before Brexit was official too, so I was able to get the VAT refund. I did have to pay like import duties on this bag, but it was like, I think I maybe paid around $1,600 for this bag, and this bag now retails for $2,400. At the peak, it did retail for $26,000 and they had a price decrease, which is crazy. But yeah, overall, I do love this bag. I definitely don't see myself selling it anytime soon, even though I haven't used it as much. But in terms of wear and tear, I definitely expected at least one crystal to fall off in the last 4 years, and this bag has held up so well. Like sometimes I'll even graze my nails on the crystal. Just, it's a nice sensation. Like if you have this bag, you get it. And nothing has fallen off. I really don't baby this bag. I actually travel a lot with this bag, and she has held up really, really well, all things considered. I truly am so impressed. My friend who lives in Hawaii helped me pick up the Gucci Dionysus in the small size. There were rumors that Gucci was reducing their Hawaii pricing from 25% to 10%. And that is a significant significant difference when you are thinking about a $2,000, $3,000 bag. And so Gucci has done so many price increases on this bag since then. I believe I paid just around $2,000 for this bag after tax, everything like that, or $1,800 maybe. And it is now over $3,200 retail for this bag. I originally had the super mini, and then I sold the super mini to get the small size because I thought the super mini was too small. Got the small size, didn't really use it because I figured it didn't really actually match with my style and whatnot. Shocking, I know. And so of course she is now sold from my collection. I hope whoever has it now is enjoying her more than I did, but unfortunately I just didn't use that bag very much. Last but certainly not least, this time 5 years ago, I picked up the Louis Vuitton Neo Noe. This was peak COVID. We were at home, which to be honest, I had no business buying bags because like we were all home. Like where was I going? Anyways, so I thought I would get the Neo Noe because we were going on a lot of picnics. This was like the time of like going on picnics, eating outside, seeing your friends, but like social distancing, which like it like feels like a fever dream. Like it's crazy to even say that out loud. But because we were going on so many picnics, I was like, I need a picnic bag. And then I saw the Neo Noe, and I know the history behind the Neo Noe, and this bag was originally designed to carry champagne. And so even if I wasn't carrying champagne, my water bottle, my emotional support water bottle, will stand upright in this bag. And I also like that I got this in the black trim, so it wouldn't patina, it wouldn't darken over time like typical vachetta would. And I thought eventually with this bag, it's going to replace my Neverfull. I'm gonna sell the Neverfull because I can do a whole video on why I wanted to sell the Neverfull. But I thought I could sell the Neverfull and use the Neo Noe as my official work bag moving forward. Joke's on me for a couple reasons. One, it didn't fit my laptop, so it really couldn't have worked as a work bag for me. And two, we didn't consistently go back into the office after the world reopened. So I didn't really have a need for a work bag. And so I sold the Neverfull first, and I kept the Neo Noe for as long as I could. But even having that in my collection for, I believe, 3 years, I really didn't use the bag. I think I used it maybe 10 times total, and I liked the look of the bag. I just really didn't use it, and so I ended up selling it, and I have no regrets. I think all things considered, I'm really impressed with how many bags that have continued to stay in my collection for so long. It's interesting because I didn't notice that I had this habit of buying handbags in the fall until I was thinking about video ideas and what to talk about, and it's been interesting to see how many handbags that have continued to stick in my collection. Handbags that I thought were going to be trendy. Handbags that I convinced myself like, hey, let's get this, scratch the itch for a couple years and then sell it off. Like that's the joy of buying designer handbags, is for the most part, they do retain their value relatively well. And so you are able to sell them after you're done enjoying them. And I kind of thought that a lot of these handbags, like the DeJoy, the Prada re-edition, even the Celine Triomphe, like for sure the Dior book tote, like I thought that these bags were going to be bags that I'm going to keep for a couple years, like 2 years max, and then sell them off. And maybe I have like a hoarder mentality, but I really haven't felt this itch to sell them off other than the book tote. And I still really enjoy having them in my collection, which I am quite surprised by. And I think I'm more surprised at how well it's held up given how much I've used some of these bags. So with that, I guess we will end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am curious to hear if anyone else has this itch to buy a new handbag in the fall, or if it's just me. I don't know if it's something in the air or if it's literally just me, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave another video for you guys here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!